Well, let's continue our special build-up to the All Progressives Congress National Convention as Saliu Mustapha, APC Chairmanship Aspirant, joins us now in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us on the news tonight.
Thank you very much.
Let me begin by asking you, because it looks like it's about to be the clash of the titans and survival of the fittest for your party. Why do you want to become the chairman of your party, and what gives you an edge over the other aspirants?
Well, basically, I want to be chairman because I want to serve. For me, I believe it's a call to serve, not just to come and contest for title. And I think I have values to add to the party because I believe in this progressive platform. I've always been a member of it. And it's a family I've spent over 2 decades working for, right from the days of the APP till we got into the APC today. From different APP, AMPP, then CPC. Like I said, I believe it's a call to serve and I have a lot to offer. So for me, I want to see how I can add value in making sure we sustain the gains so far recorded by the party, ably led by no other person than the President of the country, President Muhammadu Buhari. And when you look at the demography now, you look at the strategy of winning an election, definitely you will agree with me. I stand to be the best candidate to lead this party into the next electoral victory.
But I'm surprised you still mentioned CPC and other legacy parties that actually, formed the APC. It almost gives an indication that the cracks are still very much there, that the party has not been able to achieve that cohesion that one would have expected. But Alimodu Sharif, who was also an aspirant, hinted at the possibility of a consensus chairmanship candidate when he pulled out. What are your thoughts about that? In the event that the APC would settle for a consensus candidate, would you step down?
Well, not because I'm the one contesting. I hope and I pray I will be endorsed that consensus candidate for obvious reasons. One, I think nobody has the historical movement or the historical knowledge or how we came about like I do in this whole area of aspirants now. As a former deputy national chairman of the CPC, I was one of those who led my own part of the party to the merger. And you see, for any political movement or platform to be successful, you must have certain irreducible minimum as your criteria or qualities of what you want that leader to promote. And like I earlier said, I'm a bridge builder in this whole equation today. I have been seen by so many as somebody who gives a semblance of inclusiveness. You want a party that should know where they are coming from and should be able to know where they are going to. So some of these factors are one of the driving, principles of my continuous,
striving
forces for me to say I want to contest this. I'm not looking at a contest just to be the chairman of an opposition party. No, I've been in the opposition before. I know what it is. And being in the opposition in the past, I know what it will take for us to win an election. We need to, first and foremost, unite, reconcile our differences, and continue to have what they call, in other words, continuous stakeholders meeting, so that people will not feel left out. Because you see, in politics, the more the merrier. The moment some people or someone perceives that he's not being carried along, it's all about a game of number. Then if he decides to step back, then you've reduced your strength. So, and I tell people sometimes, some people believe consultation is a sign of weakness. For me, it is not. It's a sign of strength. The more you consult with people, the more you give them a sense of belonging. And that will now further strengthen the unity of the party.
Right. Okay. When you say the more the merrier, Are you saying you do not agree with the position of your party to go with a consensus candidate? We've heard the president favors consensus. In the history of your party, your chairmanship have been, have come from consensusship. So are you saying you do not agree with a consensus candidate at this time? Is that what you're saying?
I said something earlier. I said I pray and I hope I will be the one that will be endorsed to be that consensus candidate. Because for now, I appear to be the only neutral aspirant. If you look at it, we have 3 serving senators, you have a serving minister, and you have a serving special advisor to the governor of Niger. They are all holding one political appointment or elective position today. I'm the only one without that. And with my past experience of party administration, in our days in the CPC, after our convention, we went straight for party primaries. I knew what it cost the party. A lot of differences, because it's about managing people, managing different interests. Because of the, hard experience one has in this part of the, industry, I think I'm the right choice to come and help navigate this party through these murky waters now.
Indeed. Let's talk about the screening that has failed. I mean, screening was supposed to happen on Saturday and Sunday. That has not happened. And this is just a few days to the March 26 convention. Are you concerned that screening has not happened yet? Or have you been invited for screening? We've been invited,
And the screening was postponed, and we've been invited for tomorrow now. So I wouldn't say it has failed. You can only say screening has failed if eventually we don't have it. But since there's still time, and the convention is still days away, Saturday, so there's room for screening. It's just 2 hours. You are able to is to look at our documents, look at what we've presented. We show the original copies, and that's all. And to be sure the person paid for the form, he has evidence of his receipt, and that's all.
Well, you've just admitted that your party is going through a phase, murky waters, you said. There's a lot of confusion, internal wranglings, and some would say over-reliance on the president. The president seems to be carrying such a heavy load at this time in your party because he's directing, he's ordering, he's summoning, he's doing everything. Do you think your party can survive after President Muhammadu Buhari, should you become the chairman of your party?
The party will survive and can survive all these tendencies or present, will say, let me not use the word murky water again. You see, for me, in a political party or environment, when there is a healthy debate, it brings out the best. So that is all we're going through now. It's giving us opportunity to sieve and to be able to re-strategize. And the most important thing is strategizing to win the general election so that we can deliver on our promises to the electorate.
Are you confident that the Buni-led APC Caretaker Committee can actually hold an impressive and acceptable convention? I mean, considering the events that have unfolded in the last 2 weeks, I mean, what are you hanging your hopes on? And we do hear that senators are divided over who should be chairman and who should not be.
Well,
what are your thoughts on that?
For me, the Buni-led Caretaker Committee has done very well. They've been able to pilot the party to this stage, and we're having our convention on 26. That date, 26, it's sacrosanct. So I have no negative or objection to their performance. They've done the best they can in the circumstance they found themselves. And in the issue of senators being divided, yes, I don't know on what line they are divided. So I wouldn't be telling you authoritatively, I know what or I know why they are divided. For me, I believe it is a time for the party to reflect inward and look at the best material based on criteria that will be set up on who should represent the party, who should be the face of the party, so as to be able to rebrand the party for our future engagement.
Yeah, but they are divided over the issue of where to zone, you know, the zoning formula and the rezoning of the office of the National Secretary, either from the southwest to the south-south.
No, you
that
see,
seemed to be the bone of contention.
It has been zoned already, and what happened was that they swapped positions of zones. What was in northwest before was taken to another zone. What was in northeast was brought to maybe south-south. So for me, that stands, and that is why I'm contesting for the chairmanship, because the chairmanship has been zoned to north central.
Right.
And let me ask you, your party has successfully vacated the order stopping your convention from holding, but some worry that there are still hundreds of litigations, especially when it comes to your state congresses. How much of a concern is that for you? And you keep mentioning the general election, like that is the focus of your party. Does APC exist for just the next elections? What happens after the elections is what I asked you earlier.
And this was definitely, yes, there are issues from states, but don't forget, there was a very high-powered reconciliation committee that was set up, ably led by Senator Abdullahi Adamu. It's work in progress, and I believe by the time we finish this convention, what the party needs to do is to immediately swing into action, look at those reports, and try to call the aggrieved states if there are still any. And that is why I said the most important thing is continuous reconciliation, because in every political party there's bound to be argument of who is right, who is wrong. For you, what you need to do is to reconcile the differences and make sure out of every aggrieved situation you bring out the best.
Okay. Another issue that may be a bone of contention is the possibility of some candidates being screened out. In the event that that happens, what do you think are the likely implications for the party, and how would you, as a contender, even take that?
You see, like I said, and which I've always promised in my agenda, is that I want to guarantee what they call internal democracy. In most cases, when you find people having dissenting or people are aggrieved in political environment, is lack of internal democracy. You must be just and fair to everybody. And that brings out the best materials for you. You don't have to, because this person doesn't want that person, and then in the instance that is the best material you have. Because you see, we've run elections before. And sometimes I tell people, when you allow merit to suffice, then you have less trouble in marketing that person. And by the time you are able to bring out the best materials to represent your party and the people, then end of the day, you have good governance. So I believe one of the cardinal objectives is to make sure we have internal democracy. And once you have internal democracy, then you have a kind of sense of belonging, and you let people have a buy-in into the party. Then you have less problem of marketing, or there will be no rigging.
Okay. Great. That's a good place to leave it. Saliu Mustapha is APC Chairmanship aspirant from Kwara State, former Deputy National Chairman CPC. He's also the Turaki of Ilorin. Thank you for joining us.
We wish you the best.